Welcome guys to the third part of fifth lesson of this course, and in this part we'll be working on creating Bomber AI. So let's switch over to Unity. First, let's open up the Hyper Casual Game Course asset folder that we downloaded in the first lesson, and then go to lesson 5 folder and then import the Bomber package. This package contains the 3D model for our Bomber AI and the particle effects that we'll be using with it. So once the import is completed, open up the Hyper Casual Game Course folder, go inside the Bomber folder, and then open up the prefabs folder, and then drag and drop the Bomber prefab into a scene like this. Now let's rotate it 180 degrees so it's facing towards the camera. Alright guys, so let's start by going over to our AI and let's copy and paste all the components on our Bomber AI. And don't copy the capsule collider. We will be using sphere collider for that. So I'm going to skip this one and copy nav mesh agent. And copy player script and paste it. And now let's add the sphere collider. Make sure that the size matches the 3D model. Alright, next let's move it up and open up our player script. And here let's create few new variables. So I'm going to create a public boolean called public bool is Bomber, and then another one public bool unstable, and one more transform, so public transform explosion effects. Now let's go down to our punch function and let's edit this. So let's do if is Bomber, or else we'll do this. We are going to check if it's not unstable, and now we will set in unstable equal to true so it doesn't spam the function. Now let's get the reference to our material, so let's do material math equal to, so the body is over here, so it's the child of the child, so let's do transform dot get child 0 dot get child 0. Now get component mesh renderer dot material. Now let's set the sequence, so let's do sequence so this is going to be our animation sequence. Now let's do now let's set it back to white and set it back to 1. Now let's set the loop to set loops to 5, so it will repeat the animation 5 times before exploding, and after that let's do on complete. Inside this let's do transform t equal to instantiate explosion effects, and then let's do new vector 3 transform dot position dot x transform dot position dot y plus 0.5 transform dot position dot z. For the rotation, just do quaternion identity. Then after that, let's do destroy t.gameObject after 3 seconds. Then after that, let's do start coroutine called death. Then after that, let's apply a knockback effect to all the players that are surrounding the bomber. So let's do collider do a for each loop. So for each collider C in calls, we'll check the tag of the object. So if c.compare tag equal to player, so let's do rigid body rb equal to c.get component rigid body rb dot velocity equal to vector 3.0. So we'll remove any other velocity if they have, and then add the knockback velocity. Then let's do c.transform.position minus transform.position, and now let's normalize it and multiply it by punch force. Next, let's get the player reference. So let's do player script temp player script equal to c.get component player. Now let's do temp player script dot start coroutine temp player script and add the stun effect. So stun. Now let's save the script and we are done over here. Now let's go up to our on enable function, and over here let's do if is bomber, we will set unstable equal to false. So once the bomb explodes and it respawns, it's again ready to explode. So let's save the script and go back to Unity, select our bomber and go to our bomber player script. Over here let's make is bomber true, and for the explosion effect go to bomber folder and open up the prefabs folder and then drag and drop the explosion effect prefab over here. For the punch force, let's increase it to something like 18 so it has more impact than the regular AIs. And then let's update these objects because currently they are referencing the objects from the AI from which we copied the script. So if you click on trail effects, it takes us over to the trail effect of this AI, and we don't want that. So let's create these objects for our bomber AI. Alright, so before we create the trail effects and the punch trigger for our bomber, let's fix the name of this punch trigger. So I'm going to change it to punch trigger, so it's not just cube 1 because that can be confusing. And then apply the changes. So go to overrides and click apply all. Now this should change the name in every prefab. Do the same for our player as well, punch trigger, and click on apply all. Alright, now we can create the trail effects and punch trigger for our bomber. So I'm going to simply select them and then Control D to duplicate and then parent them under our bomber like this. Now go over to our trail effects and then click on copy component and paste it, and then go over to our punch trigger, copy component and paste it. Now we can collapse this AI object and let's fix the name to trail effects and punch trigger to punch trigger like this. Now if you notice, the size of the punch trigger does not really suit the size of our bomber AI. So let's change the size of the punch trigger so that it matches with our bomber. So I'm going to move it to 0, 0, 0 and then make it 1.5 and 1.5, and then also make this to 1 and maybe move it to 1 as well. Okay, just move it to 0.5. Yeah, that's perfect. And in the punch trigger script under player script variable, let's drag and drop our bomber AI like this. Now let's go back to our bomber, go to our player script and then drag and drop the trail effects over here. Alright, so now that is done, let's go to our prefabs folder and then drag and drop this Bomber AI over here like this, so it will create the prefab. So now let's hit play and let's check it out. Boom, there we go guys, it's working as expected. Alright guys, so we have finished creating the Bomber AI, and with this we have completed the 5th lesson, which is about creating the AI. In the next lesson we'll be working on creating the game logic. So see you then guys, cheers.